My name's Mike Miller, third generation LA. Been shooting for 40 years, some of the legends in the game. This is my new book, Outtakes and Icons. Here's a glimpse of my story.
I've known about Mike Miller for quite some time now. He's done photos for some of the most iconic hip-hop albums of all time, including some of my personal favorites. We started following each other on Instagram over the pandemic, so I said, you know what, why not reach out to Mike and see if he'd be down to be a part of the new docu-series that we're doing? And he was. So Jimmy and I made the trip on out to LA, got a room downtown, and made it happen. And this is how it went.
What's up, dog?
My brother. So great to meet you, man. So great to meet you. Thank you so much for taking this time out. I know you are a very, very busy man. And, I just want you to know that we appreciate this and we're going to have a really, really good time today.
Appreciate that.
I mean, you have done so many iconic shoots for so many incredible artists. And we're actually going to go to a few of those locations today. And I'm super stoked about that. But before we get into that, I just kind of wanted to get an insight of what made you get into photography.
Well, early on I was a skater.
Okay.
And my cousin was older than me, and he was actually one of those guys that started doing the first airs.
Yeah.
And so it's like late 70s.
Okay.
And he had a ramp in his backyard, and I was more of like an observer. I skated. I could do the half pipe a little bit, but those guys were like really ripping, like Alva. He was friends with all the Dogtown people, skaters, and they would come down and skate in his backyard.
Nice.
So I picked up my uncle's camera and I shot a couple frames, and they told me, they go, "Mike, you have a good eye."
Okay.
And that kind of stuck with me my whole life.
Right, that was the spark right there.
That was kind of like the spark, but then it took a few more years after that before I really started shooting. In like 1985, my girlfriend, she got a model contract.
Okay.
So at the time I was painting houses, and so I sold my car, I was painting houses, and I made a little money, and I followed her to Europe. And then someone gave me a camera. I started shooting some of her and some of her friends.
Yeah.
And that right there caught the eye of an agent in LA.
Okay.
And then once the agent started sending my book out to she thought it would be good for my style and my technique I was doing at the time. It was very European influenced.
Okay.
She sent it to the record labels, and the record labels started flipping out. So some of my first covers was with Zapp, the Go-Go's,
nice.
Herb Alpert,
Yeah,
Stan Getz, Hart, and those are early on in my career. So I started doing album covers. It was all because of my agent would send it to the record labels.
Wow, man! It all stemmed from that to your girlfriend and just
building a book. When my first contact sheet, you can see I had an eye.
Yep.
That was the beginning of my career,
Wow, man.
That was, the spark was in the late 70s, early 80s. And then in 85, I started shooting and getting paid for tests, shooting models. And then the agencies would pay me $300 to shoot 3 rolls of film.
Wow, man, that's amazing.
It's way before digital.
Right. Oh,
there's no iPhones.
Yeah.
You couldn't take a photo with an iPhone and go, "Oh shit, I'm good." On an iPhone. This is you got to, it was expensive. Exactly. It wasn't cheap to do film back then. It didn't, and it's the same today. It's expensive to shoot film. I still shoot film, but a lot of my work is digital because they find the image for the cover and they put it all together.
Yeah.
And the rest is history.
Exactly. Back then, it was like getting your hands dirty. You know what I mean? It was like the nitty gritty. Let's get it.
Yeah.
I love it, man. And you've just done so many just amazing shots, and your work is just so great, Mike. You know what I mean?
Appreciate
and it really shows in the images too. You know what I'm saying? I really mean that. So what's the joy that brings you to see your work come to life?
Well, I really have a lot of anxiety previous to a shoot. It's a creative anxiety, I think.
Of course.
You know, and that's kind of like my MO. And sometimes I go like, man, this is like the hardest fucking, to try.
Yeah.
When I do a shoot, I'm looking at front and back cover, inside packaging, publicity, singles, front and back.
Right.
There's so much involved that is expected from the record labels.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been doing since like 88, 89 was my first cover. So it's been a long time since I've been, approaching each shoot as if I, need a cover. I need a back cover. I need the inside. And maybe there's like a group. I have to do singles with everyone.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of hard work. And it's amazing to get on the computer and actually look at my photos. That's when I really like.
Right. Now you can take it
I could take a breath and like go, oh, this is fun, man.
Right.
This is a lot of fun.
The relief factor, like when it's done and when seeing the final presentation, that's just got to be like beautiful. You know what I mean?
That's the best feeling. Just knowing like that I accomplished a big, because a lot of my shoots are out of, overseas or not overseas, but in the United States.
Yeah. I
go to Atlanta a lot. I go to Florida. I've been to Medellin recently.
Okay.
I've been to Paris. I've been to Mexico City shooting. I just was in Mexico City. I shot a bunch of those new up and coming Latino hip hop artists.
Nice, man.
El Nata and Gabito and Aliman.
Yeah, man.
They're all dope. So I'm like connected with those guys now. And so that's like the new generation, the new,
Yeah.
So I got people hitting me up, like my pockets are buzzing right now.
It don't stop, you know what I mean?
And I have a new book.
Yes.
It's 4 decades. It's Outtakes and Icons.
Right, yes. Congratulations.
Thank you. And that book is it's like my first book, West Coast Hip Hop, A History in Pictures. That opened people's eyes up to who actually photographed like Cypress Hill's first cover.
Right.
Coolio's first cover.
Yep.
Photos of all kinds of different artists, Snoop's cover.
Exactly, man.
NWA and Easy and all these different killer artists that we grew up with that we love so much.
Yep.
And to work with someone like Easy or Tupac.
Right.
Was I was a huge fan.
Yeah, man.
At the time, because they were at the top.
Exactly.
They were at the level where they hugely influenced me.
Exactly.
And Public Enemy, he actually wrote, Chuck D wrote the foreword in my new book.
Wow.
And that was the hugest honor because he was my hero growing up.
Yeah, 1000%.
Yeah, so to work with all these, artists is as a kid I used to flip through record labels. I mean, I used to go to record stores and look through records and look at Pink Floyd or Jimi Hendrix and go, wow, these are so cool. And never in my wildest dreams I thought I'd be shooting these covers. I was like, what? No, not even a chance.
Yep.
So that's full circle, and I'm getting goosebumps just talking to you because it's it really means it's like to have a career in doing album covers that'll be timeless and it'll go on for the test of time. It's gonna be amazing, man.
It's incredible, man.
I got my hair done. My head, I have hair on my head.
Right.
It just goosebumps.
And like I said earlier, you've done so many iconic locations. One of my personal favorite locations was the Warren G21 in Lewis.
Yeah.
And I figured
it's so Cali.
It's
Cali, just everything about it is Cali, and why don't we go check it out?
I figured, why don't we start there?
Let's go, man.
Let's go.
Let's turn these fucking mics off.
When I found out Mike did the photography for Warren G's debut album cover, it really blew my mind because that album is so special to me for so many reasons. Jimmy and I went to Long Beach the day prior and went over to the world famous VIP Records, a place where Snoop, Warren, Nate, and so many others really got their start at. Shout out to my homegirl 10 and her family and the whole VIP Records squad, especially Mr. Anderson. I told Mike it would be classic if we pulled up to that iconic 2-1 in Lewis sign. He said he was down, and that's exactly what we're gonna do.
We're at the official 2-1 in Lewis.
This shot right here, 21st and Lewis, I think they switched the signs, but it's just so identifiable to Cali.
Right.
The palm trees down the street. So the day started like this. We had to go pick up Warren and get the clothing all organized. My wife did the wardrobe and the styling. So he goes, Mike, I really want to shoot where I grew up on 21st and Lewis. So it was about this time of day. And on the front of my, I used a 6x7 Pentax camera. It was 120 film, and it was a 45, which ends up being like a 22 on a 35 millimeter, and it had filters in it, so I probably put it on a red filter. Got low, put Warren on the lamp post right here, and what was cool is like there's an old rag top that goes through, there's a truck that rolls through, there's a biker that rolls through, so each frame on the contact sheet was gold. Each frame that I shot probably 2 rolls. That's how I normally go about my shoots. And there it is. And I was telling you earlier, like how my days go. So this
is the actual, this is the album right here.
I hand printed it myself. There's the back cover. Remember I was saying like what it takes to do like an album cover and how hyper focused I am.
Yeah.
So then this is down the street where Snoop did Doggy Style video, and this is
the alley, correct?
It's a reservoir right down here.
Okay.
So this is a single in the back cover, and I hand printed all these as well. I did a special sepia print, and this is in.
Tell us about this one.
This shot, this was my idea before the shoot even started. I found a demo yard. It's an old naval base that was getting torn down in San Pedro. And the back, that's the front cover, and in this shot there's like Waniac, the twins.
Yeah.
And then in the back cover, there's the cover. There's a wall at the naval base.
What was Warren like that day, man? Because you got to remember, right? This is young Warren G. You know, this is his debut album, and at the time, he kind of felt like Death Row kind of, you know, turned their backs a little bit on, kind of left him out. He's like, he's kind of just on his way out to like dropping this debut album on himself, backs against the wall. It's like, and he doesn't even know his whole life's about to change. It's like he's got an album that's gonna change. It actually saved Def Jam Records. There's just a lot, you know. It's like what was he like that day in 1994?
I don't think Warren has ever changed his personality. He was just laid back and like, okay, let's do this. And we came here, first spot, because this is, like I said, this is where the Dog Pound lived right close by. Nate Dogg lived close by. You know, Technique, Little Half Dead, all those guys. This was their neighborhood where they grew up, the LBC crew.
Right.
Now Warren was on Indo Smoke that I shot for John Singleton.
Correct.
It was his first cover. John Singleton for Poetic Justice. And I shot that first cover. And Warren was the same person then, and I talked to Warren not too long ago, probably about a year ago, and he's the same person today. He's just, you know, we're all and I'm me. I haven't changed. I keep it real. I don't fabricate my stories. Everything I tell you guys is going to be the truth as far as I remember it.
Yeah.
And that was the day. Then after this spot, we were going to VIP Records, where you guys headed to yesterday.
Yeah, man. You know, so we got a chance. I mean, if you're in Long Beach, you know that the iconic, world famous VIP Records, man. You know, it's just so much history. It's the start of a lot of careers. You know, we were just there yesterday. We got the grand tour. You know, and you know, it just felt like family in there, and that is a staple in Long Beach, California.
Absolutely. And I go in there and they show me a lot of love too. They you know, it's too bad the whole storefront's gone, but and you know, the iconic video of Snoop bouncing around.
That's when I first saw it, the What's My Name video.
Yeah, right. And so again, I like the street. I like, again, like 21st and Lewis. It was this time of day. It was like the harshest light possible to do an album cover, but it is actually one of my favorite covers that I've shot.
It's iconic, Mike.
And I really, really mean that. And I hand printed it myself.
And then now when you look at the shot, we were talking about this earlier. When you look at the shot, I mean, it looks like you're literally from afar.
I was standing right here.
How did you shoot that?
I was right here. I can't get that low right now. I'll get low, but I won't be. And I probably was in this section right here. There was no car right here. And, you know, again, I was just waiting for, like, there was a ragtop that drove through, which is my favorite shot.
Yeah.
There was a bicycle rider that came through.
Right.
And then there was the truck. And then the truck, they double impression, made the cover. Come on, let's take a walk over here and they'll walk down the street, kind of get the feel for the how the palm trees are. You know, this is an iconic LA avenue. And this is, I was just so lucky that this is where Warren grew up, and he had these palm trees because it just shows Cali, man, to the T. This is Cali right here.
Right. You know, and just the record itself, man, like just being here, it just has, for me personally, man, it just brings such a great memory in time, man. It's like, reminds me of my grandmother, because when the Regulate record came out, it was on the Above the Rim soundtrack, was going to be the single for the album, and she ended up buying it. It ended up being my first CD that I ever owned. So just being here, Mike, with you, man, it's just, this is special, brother. This is just so special, man.
Like I said, Mike has done photography for some of the most legendary hip-hop album covers of all time. From Coolio, Arabian Prince, Cypress Hill, and of course my personal favorite West Coast producer of all time, the one and only DJ Quick. So you know we had to pull up there.
I had him like climb up a ladder and just see the barbed wire right here?
Yeah.
I put his head in the barbed wire and I shot through the barbed wire. I went, oh, cool idea, and I put a ladder. He climbed up it, I climbed up another ladder and shot right through it, and that was...
Wow, man. Look at that.
Later on, I shot the Gangster's Paradise and a bunch of his other covers as well. I brought this just because it's so important. Arabian Prince, he just left NWA, and I put him on a ladder as well, and some broken windows, and I'm sure they're still broken in there. And there's my car. Coolio Inside the Yard.
County Line.
County Line.
Yep.
It's first single. Showed you the cover through the barbed wire.
Yep.
Here's Delinquent Habits. Tres Delincuentes. I photographed Cypress Hill's demo here. And in my book, Outtakes and Icons, you can see the contact sheet.
Yeah.
It's dope, man, of the first shots of Cypress to get signed on Rough House Records.
What year was
Sony?
This, Mike?
I shot, I think in 1989, I did their demo.
Yeah.
Then they got signed by Joe the Butcher.
Right.
On Rough House Records. And then we came back down and recreated the cover. And this is one of the walkways for Hand on the Pump. And then this was actually How I Could Just Kill a Man.
Yep.
And then them walking through the yard, Latin Lingo. It's the only album that Cypress used their well, our whole concept on doing this shoot was not to be commercial looking.
Okay.
And we made it real gritty and not showing their faces.
Right.
And the record labels weren't too keen on that at the time.
Yeah.
But that was our concept, and ever since, and people love this whole, this is one day again.
Wow, man.
Let's walk over here. So you see that opening right there? I was up on that roof shooting this cover.
Wow, so it was that roof right there.
That roof, I was up there shooting straight down. Below that roof is this shot.
Wow, man.
And then the Latin Lingo, them walking, was just coming out of that building. Yep, and on the other side is where I did the Arabian Prince. We'll do a drone shot right now.
Yeah, yeah.
And the broken windows are probably still there. You'll see the big tower. And then I shot DJ Quick. And endless amount of covers in here.
Anyone who knows me knows that Tupac is literally one of my favorite hip-hop artists ever. And so when I found out Mike worked with Pac on the Thug Life album, I was geeked, man. And I was like, we totally got to pull up there. And we did. And Mike shared some really, really great stories with us.
So I'm taking you to the spot where I photographed the Thug Life. This was our third location. This was the third spot. The first spot was on the Rollin' 50s, at the Rollin' 50s on the 50th and Western. That's the rim shot.
Right.
Had him running down here. And one of these buildings right over here is where he did the double flip off. We'll walk over to it right now. So this tower right here is in the running shot. There's a broken window right there that's still broken after how many years? Since '94? That's the double flip off one right there. So we're here at this railroad yard. It was the third location I took Tupac to. It's kind of crazy fact is that these rails right here connected New York to LA back in the early, the Great Depression. This is how how commerce worked. Through these train tracks, they went all the way across the country. Wow. So when I found this spot right here, it was for the Thug Life album cover. And this shot right here was against like this metal. Actually, this metal down here. There's more room. So it looks like they painted it black, but this is the shot that's used in the packaging. We just walked by these shots. There's the window, the double flip off, the famous double flip off photo. And this one was shot right here against the grid. Well, I was hired to do a photo shoot for Menace to Society.
Okay.
And I think it was a Spice One video.
Okay.
And I was supposed to photograph Tupac there. And all of a sudden, there was a big crowd of people, probably like 100, 200 people. Mm-hmm. And my wife and I pulled up and she goes, I ain't getting out of the car. I know this is Diamond Street. She's like, I am not getting out of the car.
Right.
So I went over and with all my gear, I just piled it in and walked over to the set. And all of a sudden, Tupac pulled up, jumped out his car and cracked fucking Alan Hughes in the face. And everybody, it was like a riot and running towards my wife's car. She said she had no idea what the fuck was going on.
Wow, Mike, you were there for that day?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He was, on the rise and he was super famous doing movies. And I just fucking blown opportunity. And,
mm-hmm.
You don't get those kind of shoots very often.
Right.
And so later on, my friend, it's like I was DJing with Muggs.
From Cypress Hill.
Yeah, before Cypress Hill was a thought. And we had a street promoter named Faye Duvernay, and Faye became a good friend of mine. He used to give me records, and we used to spin them at the clubs. So Fade started moving up the ranks. He became A&R at Interscope, and he said, I'm working with Pac now.
Right, yeah.
And so he introduced me one time at this place called Water the Bush. It was just an underground hip-hop club in L.A.
Yeah.
And then later on, he told me, Fade, that he showed him my book, and he dug my Stussy work, and he dug my, he liked my vibe, my style. And fast forward like a year or two later, Pac called me and goes, dude, I got a shoot now, an album cover I want you to shoot, the Thug Life album cover.
Wow, man. Man, so Mike, Tupac is, if he's one of my favorite artists ever, man. And, it just is an absolute icon. He's iconic, man. I mean, the man's been dead since 1996. People still talk about him today. I mean, it's just everybody knows Tupac. And you got to work with him in 1994. And it's like, and he trusted you, you know what I mean? It's like, he trusted your vision, trusted everything that he knew that you were going to bring, your talent. How does that feel, Mike?
Well, I was really fortunate to get hired by Tupac. He was at the height of his career. He was doing movies.
Right.
He was blowing up. And this Thug Life album cover, I met with him a day prior to this shoot, and he told me how important this Thug Life album cover shoot was.
Okay.
Because he had Rated R, his brother Mo Preem.
Right.
Big Syke.
It was a group effort.
And Macadocious. These are like his homies that he grew up with, and he was like, had the power to put together a album called Thug Life. And so he told me how important it was to him. So the following day, we all caravanned. We went to the Rollin' 40s, and we, it's like my typical long day that I've talked about. There's one of the singles. That's on Hoover Street.
Yeah.
Back cover on the single. I hand printed all these. That's inside the Thug Life. There's my photos. And then there's another photo that I hand printed.
Yep.
These shots right here, rated R, was right there.
Right.
Big Psych, Macadocious, Mo Prima's brother, and Tupac, the double flip-off, the famous double flip-off, was right there. There's the Hoover Street. This is like a few of his homies right here, right over there under those 4 windows. Mm-hmm. And this was the inside packaging,
right,
for the Thug Life cover. The cover of my book, West Coast Hip Hop, A History and Pictures, there's a photo of Pac smiling. I hadn't seen that photo in over 20 years when I put it on my first book cover. Because when I do a shoot, I don't syndicate my photos. I just box it up and put it in my storage. And so when I came across that image of him smiling, I just fell in love with it, and that became the cover of my first book. So he really showed a very high work ethic, and he worked his ass off this day. And he sat shotgun with me, passing blunts with me. We smoked, and he asked me about each neighborhood that we were cruising through. And it was like a real incredible moment, because like when I first met Pac, I was a lot of energy and, you know, nerves and everything, but, you know, he made you feel so comfortable.
Right.
He was an amazing human. I miss him. Rest in peace. He only grows on me every year. His music and how important he is to the world. Tupac is loved worldwide. There's nobody that compares to Tupac.
1000%.
Yeah. He told me, Mike, I'm hungry. Let's eat in one of these train cars. So we sat down, we got Burger King, and we sat in one of these train cars and just shot the shit. The most important thing that Pac showed me or taught me was his work ethic. Like, I'm a diehard. I will work till everybody is finished.
Yep.
I do not stop.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what, if it's like days on end, I will not sleep and I will shoot because I love what I do.
Right.
The one thing that I remember the most about Pac is the first time I met him for this photo shoot, he gave me such a sweet hug. And I was just like, man, this guy is like so cool. Is like, he's so famous, and his music is like #1 in the world. And he gave me time to like be personable with me. And that was really important to me, you know, like that I had the opportunity to meet him a couple times. But you know, like when you're in the club and it's like, oh, it's just real quick, like, oh yeah, cool, nice to meet you.
We're sharing Burger King and sitting in a train like that.
Yeah, and smoking blunts and sitting shotgun with me for 12 hours.
Well, Mike, this was nothing short of amazing. Thank you again, my brother, you know, for taking the time out. I mean, this was an amazing time, man. You know what I mean? And so, and you're a gem. You are a true gem. You know what I'm saying? And don't ever forget that, my brother.
Thank you, my man.
Okay? Appreciate you, man. Thank you again. Absolutely.
No traffic, bro.
We lucked out today. We killed it, man. Mike Miller, everybody.
So as you can see, today was definitely one for the books. And Mike Miller is a true legend and deserves all the flowers. Today took me back to that young kid in the 90s and really helped me relive the soundtrack to my childhood. Make sure you pick up his book, Outtakes and Icons. Much love to Mike Miller.
Hey, I'm Mike Miller. Thanks for giving me a day.